Alright, hello again, welcome back to Kerbal Space Program Science Mode, part 21A, which is basically a bit of a bonus stream. So it's outside of the scope of my usual schedule because of the because it's bank holiday and I wanted to do some more Kerbal, I wanted to play some more of the game. So I also wanted to go about designing and building a space dock for the Juno mission to return to at some point. So this is basically the sketch that I'm going to go with. Although there's now got a bit of grease on the pages because I put something on there which apparently was greasy, so that's like 20 pages of my notebook ruined. But there you go. Let's continue on rather than sitting around here. So yeah, so the plan is to at least design and hopefully launch a space dock, which will be our main sort of docking thing for spaceships and stuff in low Kerbin orbit. So without further ado, let's get started. So yes, actually no, before this, because we do have a bit of we do have 2,000 science to spend. So I feel like there's probably some research we could do to let's see what we've got. The 4K battery bank will be useful. What else have we got here? Unmanned tech gives us the cube and the. Oh, so we got 2,000. How many more of the? We could probably spend like. Because these are 550 apiece, so it'd be like 1,100 to get 2 of these, and then 900 for. Well, 3 of these, which I think is probably a good idea. So. Advanced science tech, ooh, that gives us the gravity detector. And we also get access to the convertitrons, etc., which will be useful. Automation gives us the best communication dishes, so that'd be useful. These are the 550, so. And then high performance fuel systems gives us, oh yes, this gives us all the big fuel tanks. These are like the 5-meter fuel tanks, which I'm hoping we won't necessarily need like right now, but definitely want to include the 4K battery bank. So we'll grab this. Experimental electrics is we won't go for that yet. Unmanned tech, the Octo 2s. That's alright. It's got no authority, like command wheels, but I think we can probably get. Yeah, let's grab that as well. We have 870 left, which would still be enough to get high performance fuel systems. Advanced motors gives us the wheels and a bunch of other stuff. Grip strips, grip pads is useful, or potentially useful. Again, advanced science tech would give us that. But again, like we're planning on getting a load of science back from our Juno mission, so which I'm hoping we will at least do the Juno landing and hopefully conclude on Thursday. If we get high performance fuel systems, and that's basically like all of the main rocketry stuff. So if we grab this, then we basically have like all of the rockets we'll ever need. We've got 320, which is enough to get these 2 supersonic flight and advanced aerodynamics. Which gives us more. Oh yeah, we get the air brakes, which would be useful, and a bunch of like plane parts, which again 320 is it's not enough to get anything below this. So I'm thinking if we grab these 2, then we at least have access. We can look at getting these later. So I think 160 times 2 is 320. Again, we're not planning on using many of these, but it'll be useful to have them. Let's grab this one as well. Right, that's one. We're down to 0.4 science, which is fine. Cool, we're done that. Let's go back to the VAB now, because I think we have what we need. Like, if... So yes, I'm thinking if we start with like the core and expand outwards, because the idea is I'm going to try and make this thing expandable. So I wonder if we can, yeah, we can start from the hitchhiker storage container as a root part, which is good. So, starting from here, the plan will be to use payload fairing. With interstage nodes. There. And similarly below as well. So if we do start there for fairing staged off, fairing staged, fairing not staged. So we're not going to be staging these things. But the terminal idea will be then to grab another one of these, because these things are going to be like the start there for now, but yes, so the plan is to grab a couple of these in the hope that they will kind of like that. Okay, those aren't quite. I'll do. Yeah, that works. Okay, so this is like, so the general idea is that this is going to be at the middle section, so this is where we're going to add our expansion. This top one is going to be the Spacedock level, so we're going to stick some docking arms on here, so that the like the spaceships will like the interplanetary ships like the KSS Pioneer, etc., will dock this in this section, and then our like the return pods and stuff will dock here, and the plan is to have like solar panels set up on this section, and then probably stick some like escape pod type things onto here, and then we're going to stick some fuel tanks at the bottom for purposes of refueling stuff. But yes, before we do anything else, the middle section was meant to have some other bits on it, so we were going to stick the 4K battery banks on here. Again, this isn't really me doing a lot, so probably don't need that much power on it, but Oh yeah, that's alright. So yeah, there's some power. We do want to add some attitude control. So I don't know if we can actually get... Oh, awesome, we can. Stick that there. See if we can stick that here as well. So then we got some stuff. I do want to try popping a probe core somewhere on this thing. Alright, so for structural we should have these. And we want the Rocket Max brand adapter. And then the coupling, we want the... We should have the Clambertron Rocketport Senior, which should hopefully... I believe that's the right way around. I think. Yeah, because that's the inside, I think. So cool. So we basically have some options to expand it, like outwards, if we want to. And we will add a Spacedock. Let's just save this as we go. So we're going to have some of these with a what are they? Shielded docking ports on the end. There we go. Whoop. And then the same here for the lower level. Cool. And we want to have a Clappertron Senior here, because the idea is that we're going to make this thing expandable. So the idea is we're going to have a cupola module on here, but the idea is we want to expand the station any further up, then we can detach the cupola module and reattach it with more bits. Essentially, is the plan. Where are we looking? We want structural, because we want a 12 tube to go on here. That is as short as it goes. And the T25 to go on around it, like so. Stick some batteries inside. Get the pods, stick the cupola module on top. Does this thing have reaction wheels in it? It does, cool. Then we want to stick some command and control. So that's the small one, not the big one. Not quite there. RCS thrusters, grab some monoprop tanks. We don't need that many, but what we'll do is we'll stick them here, and then we will clip them inside as a plan. So they're accessible but not. There we go. So basically this means we can refuel them easily without having to like clip the camera inside the thing. And I'll add a couple of solar panels just so that it has the ability to generate power if it's separated. I'm thinking like these. Nope, that way. There we go. I'm still need to find somewhere if we can find somewhere to put a control thing on. What does a cube do? Just as basic SAS. Isn't great. The Octo gives us, yeah, all of the, well, it gives us, yeah, radial. Might be worth popping it on the bottom here, actually. Since we're going to be expanding that downwards. Yeah, we'll do that now. I think we'll have the hex 2 yet, do we? We only got the one hex, which gives us, yeah, prograde retrograde. Let's just make that name priority 1. This will be a station, so priority 11. Spacedock 1 in case we want to save what we've got. Get the we haven't got the Communitron 8888 yet, have we? No. That's fine. Again, this is low Kerbin orbit, so this is not really that important. We're not going to need that much radio power to get back. I want to make sure that's not staged. Well, to be fair, we could just yeah, we could have this not staged, but be just be a fairing. We can keep stuff in there, but not actually stage it. Let's figure out a means of storing solar panels in here. Now I'm thinking either Actually, this thing in the middle is going to be a bit of an issue. I do kind of want this to be. Alternatively, we just scrap these and use a structural tube instead. There you go, it looks a bit better. I still want that ring in the middle because I want to essentially like try and do a robotic sort of like arm to extend solar to have like solar panels, so we kind of extend them out beyond, like keep them clear of this whole contraption essentially. So go to robotic parts. Now I'm thinking we start with we don't want a 4-way, we want 2-way thing. Do we start with a hinge? Do we start with a alligator hinge, or do we go with these hinges? Oof, these are quite beefy. These are also quite beefy. So yeah, the plan here is hopefully to have a apparatus on here, which we do need to duplicate these in the hope that if we rotate these to 90 degrees apiece, like so, then hopefully when we rotate this up, these slot nicely into there. Then we have I was thinking like a structural, just like a beam on there, which is where hopefully we'll be attaching our solar panels. there, and then like so. And then hopefully these things become like our main solar arms. Would be the plan. So if we have grab a cal controller. Just need the one. So we open the editor, like so, and we'll make this thing like, make it 60 seconds long. Be nice, slow. We go to the action groups in order to do this. So cal controller, which we want to rename for the solar panels, and then we add all of these to. We add a target angle for these ones. Question is, can we? Yeah. Oh. So this is the shoulder hinge, like so. If we add the target angle here, call this the elbow. No, let's see. Inner elbow. Target angle. Outer elbow. And then we just add the target extension. That's it. We don't need to worry too much about rename the hydraulic cylinder. And then we want to add the toggle solar panel. Toggle solar panel. Toggle solar panel. Toggle solar panels. This should be all of our various tracks. So the general idea is that this will be like play once, and then what we'll bind an action group that'll reverse the direction and play the thing. So yeah, so hopefully everything should well, everything won't start where we need it to start. So let's have a look. See, so shoulder hinge is where we want it to be. Inner elbow is, I think, the opposite of what we want. Yeah. Outer elbow is the opposite of what we want. Like so, right, so yeah, so basically the first 20 seconds will be flattening out, second 20 seconds will be extending, and then the last 20 seconds will be deploying or retracting the solar panels, will be the plan. So if we go to this index should give us a value. Let's just add a point. There we go, right. So yeah, we want to drag this to, yeah, we want shoulder hinge to go to, well, we can set this to 20. And then we want this to be 0. And we want this to be 0 as well, because that's where we want it to stay. So in theory, that will extend to there. Right, inner elbow, which at 20, we want to be 0 as well. and then we want it to stay at 0. And we want this section to be flat. Outer elbow. This at 20. We want to be 0. We want it to be 0 here. We want the section to be flat. So in theory now. There you go. So nice gradual to this section here. Then the hydraulic cylinder will at 20 still be at 0. Then another point at 40 we'll want to be whatever the maximum value is. So what is it? And we want this to be 1.6 as well. So yeah, now it'll go. Whoop. That's not a very long extension, has to be said. Oh, it'll do. I mean, works for us. And then at 50 seconds, we want these to either to basically toggle. So do 50 seconds. Do 50 seconds. Do 50 seconds. Do because basically these are just like triggering the action. So in theory now, if we go back to the beginning and hit play, we should get a very, very gradual solar arm deployment. Very, very slow, but the idea is to try and give the solar panels enough time to retract fully before the arms bring them in as well. Because like when it happens in the VAB, this deployment will be very, very quick, whereas it's actually a lot slower in actual space. So there you go. Those will be our solar panels. And then if we reverse the we reverse the direction and play it, and basically this will be when we're retracting them. So these will retract. And this will start pulling itself in, and then they'll fold up. Cool. Well, we leave it in a reverse state. Then when we hit 10, which again I'll call this one stations, and what we do here is we grab this and we say where is it? Toggle direction and play sequence. And we'll also add in a we'll add in a antenna as well to somewhere. To be fair, we could add antenna on an antenna onto these. Yeah, I feel like it'll work somewhere else. We could just stick one on here, actually. Ooh, we do have these ones. Kind of works. I'm wondering if we can add these to the toggle antenna and then add a point here at 50 again. That works. Cool, so we have those. Right. I was thinking of adding like a little escape poddy type thing in here. Although I'm not sure if it's really worth it. Although I do want to add some I do want to add a couple of the inflatable airlock, because I do believe that these get wow. Yeah, I do believe that these inflatable airlocks can dock with Clampertron docking port juniors, so I feel like there might be some nice sort of cheap docking arms. I do believe they can dock with the docking port junior, if I recall. I might be wrong. Alternatively, we can just stick some docking port juniors on here. We have an idea to add a couple of well, actually we'll leave that for now. Right, I think that's yeah. So now we want to add some like a fuel section at the bottom here. which will involve a this one, yeah, the big ol' RCS tank, and a big ol' one of these. Orange, of course. Means that's quite a tall thing, but that is okay. And then we want to stick a docking port senior on the bottom in case we want to expand it at a later point. And we'll pop some docking port, some shielded docking ports on the outside for refueling purposes. And what we'll do is we'll attach them to attachment points because that's a little bit more looks a bit neater in my opinion. Okay, so this is the debris. I'm thinking of let's save what we've got so far. So obviously we need to get this thing into orbit. It's 66 tons. It's going to require a big launcher, but I'm also gonna add in but we should add in something there. What have we got? Oh yes, we do want some science storage units as well, actually. So I'm wondering if we delete the fairing here, we don't need it, and we stick actually some cargo storage utility will be useful as well. So wait a minute, what is this attached to? No idea. Oh, it doesn't particularly matter. I'm just curious to see if this is who knows. Let's add a cargo storage unit there, just so we've got it. We will add a, where is it, science experiment storage units, which we don't need 4 of them, we do want 2 of them. There we go. We'll also add on some more reaction control thrusters. Just so we have some ability to control this thing. Although I'm not sure where to put them on at the top there. Actually, fair, like, whilst it's fully attached, these should work fine. We're at the center of mass right now. It's probably quite low, fairly low down. Yeah, that'd be fine. Cool. Right. So the plan will be say what we have currently. So we need to get this thing into orbit, and I'm kind of a bit wary of like having an orbital drive section right at the just at the bottom. So I'm thinking it might give us a bit of extra structure if we mount the orbital insert, the actual orbital maneuvering to the side, but then strut it up. The idea being that then we can detach them and then like possibly even recover them fully. So I'm thinking if we go to coupling, we get some radial decouplers like so. We do this all in 2 symmetry rather than We pop them on here. We reduce to 0 force%, and we basically build our. I'm thinking if we try it with maybe the 1800, although if we try it with the 800 fuel tanks. Again, this will be like. Then hopefully these will actually just miss the. Miss the docking arms entirely. Ooh, there's a bit of clipping there. That's we'll make them a little bit further out then, so we need some structure. One of these maybe? Oh, no, bigger one. This one. Yeah, so the general idea will be that these will be sort of carrying our thing into orbit is the idea. We'll also add on some, not coupling, we want fuel tanks because we want this one, I think. Yep. A command and control for this thing. No, 1.25 meter payload bay, and then a aerodynamic nose. Actually, the aerodynamic nose cone isn't that important. Right, let's go for one of these actually. Because I might try and recover these, but the general idea is that we do need a we'll put a probe core inside. Open these up, and we add in again Octo 2. Configure vessel naming, Spacedock. Orbital delivery, probe name priority 1, accept. Probably want some power as well, electrical, just as I said 200 I think. Close this. Let's do a communitron, just for communication purposes. Then we add, I'm thinking, we have the vector. I'm wondering if we stick the vectors on here. Let's make ourselves, we're in vacuum, 1575, 1.45 meters per second of thrust, 1575 meters per second of delta V. More than enough, I think, because the idea is we'll have this thing entirely in orbit. Yeah. Let's just like strut this thing all along the length. yeah, then we had some RCS, so we can hopefully get some more like fine tuning. Let's make them 5-4 orthogonal, and way down here, but one on the end here as well. And then hopefully we can might stick some on halfway up to. Don't even know that's halfway up, but yeah, this is a long thing. Yeah, I'm sure that'll be fine. And then maybe add some, I mean, I don't really fully expect these things to like be able to re-enter, but I mean, I guess it'd be fun to try and recover them. So I'm thinking if we stick some parachutes on them in the hope that maybe we can we can recover them. I have no idea if this will work, but you never know. We don't necessarily need to, but it might be fun. I think it'll be fun to try. Min pressure 0.3. Min pressure 0.3. Min pressure 0.2. Min pressure 0.2. Cool. Let's add these in to stage 1, and you want these to go after stage 0, so you want that like that. Cool. Oh yes, I also realised that with these things on here, we won't have any means to separate afterwards. So what we can do is we can add in command and control, we can add the linear RCS ports to the inside, so we have the ability to push ourselves away once we've decoupled. Alternatively, I could just add in a couple of separatrons. Might be easier. Yeah, let's do that. Because again, we're going to be able to control them after we separated them. We do want them to make sure we do want to make sure that they Let's make sure these are in the right place. We'll put them in here. Basically, just want to make sure that again, if we don't recover these, not the end of the world. But we don't want them to damage the station when we separate them. So we do want them to get well clear, and then we sort of pilot them back to Kerbin, would be the plan. So this is essentially, yeah, so this is our orbital delivery. So all we need to get this into orbit, essentially. And once we have this in orbit, then we can, yeah, once it's in orbit, we can then use this thing to rotate, to get it to our 500 kilometer is our aim. Actually, let's stick a couple of little solars on the outside as well, just so we've got some. Let's do these. Just pop them here. Just have some ability to generate electricity, essentially. But yes, so right. So yes, now we need to get this thing into orbit. So this is going to require probably I'm not even sure if even the biggest fairing we have is going to do the job here, because this is quite wide now. But the 5-meter fairing may get the job done. Only one way to find out, which is to, well, we'll say what we got currently, and I will click off the game because why not? We'll get a TD12 decoupler. We'll flip it upside down, stick it on top here. That's right. It's going to be at least it's going to be a catamaran style, although probably even more than catamaran style at this rate. We will grab a structural tube, pop the structural tube on here. We'll make the tube longer. We will put an aerodynamic nose cone on top of the structural tube because this is going to be exposed to the thing. We will strut these things to the structural tube as well. We will stick some separatrons on the structural tube so that we get rid of it when we're done with it. We'll put these all on the same stage. Okay, so yes, this will be the thing which we will hopefully be able to stick our payload variant around. So the idea is to try and get this whole thing into orbit. So we want a TD25 decoupler to go on here. We want a see if this is even big enough. Okay, we need it. We need a little spacer. We need a TD25 structural tube. Here, I expect this thing to be the wibbliest thing in the world. We want this to go wide. Okay, it's wide enough, I think. And yeah, I think we're gonna need like just a big ass rocket to get this thing to go up into orbit. There you go. That's alright, isn't it? Big 5-meter. We're already like just like straight onto the 5-meter parts. 5-meter parts here. So let's set our delta V to sea level because this is going to be the fun part. So let's just go right ahead and grab a. Let's just go straight to the 5. Well, we need the 5-meter fuel tanks anyway. So let's just grab one of these. One of these. Actually, I wonder if yeah, because you can't really put anything on the bottom of this. Whereas if we get a, we'll try it with a 5-meter engine blade. For starters, EP50 engine plate. Wow. And we'll see what this thing is even capable of doing. With which we will set attach nodes to. Oh wait, we want 4x1, I think. 4x1 engines. Okay, I feel like we will try mammoths at the bottom, but because the mammoth is just huge. But it's not like 5 main sails huge though. So we just go to bare mount like this. I don't even know if we can fit one in the middle. I mean, technically not. Okay, let's make this rather than 4x1. Let's try. Oh wait, no, we wanted quad. Yeah, let's go with regular quad. We'll see what this is like. 740 meters per second. Does it even have? Oh wow, that's still got more than. That's still okay. That's a reasonable amount of thrust to weight ratio considering we're about to add. Like it's not a lot of delta V, but that is a respectable thrust to weight ratio even in vacuum. So I feel like once we add, so I think like we can reduce the number of engines here. Maybe like double. So yeah, 1.07. But what we do is we're going to extend, we're going to catamaran this up, and then see if we can get enough. If we can't get enough delta V in this stage, we then add another stage underneath it. Although I wouldn't be surprised if we could actually. Again, the fact we're able to get over, because yeah, this thing is bulky but not necessarily that heavy, is what I'm thinking. So it might not need to go too overboard with the launch system. So I'm thinking if we just do, because basically we just need the delta V. So I'm thinking if we make this a triple, gives basically this stage a little bit better, and we then supplement this with external launch with side rockets, essentially. So we go. This 4 sounds like a good number. We grab one of these just to space them way out. Like that might actually be enough. Actually, yeah, I think it will be. Maybe not. Maybe have like the 5. Maybe have a bit like smaller. So maybe S3s. Move these up. Then we want the 37 engine plate, which we then stick some more mainsails on. I'd probably say like double for each of these. Let's try it. Alright, we want a little bit. And we want all of these in the same one. 1303. TWR of 2.4, which is okay. We want to run a fuel line to the middle. Okay, so we need to keep this open because we need to make sure this doesn't get any below 1.5 ideally when we add more fuel tanks. So this is pretty long, boys. I feel like we want to like reduce down before too long. That is too big. This one? Yep. Down to 2.5 before we go too mad. 1.8 already, you see, so 1.5 or yeah. Because you're at 1.5 and we're nearly quite there, so I think, yeah, if we just aggressively reduce this down again, so like that, and then that, 1.72, and then we just 1.69, that's one more, there you go. 1.60, which is about right. 2521 plus 759 is 3,200. Which, after we strut things, might be, yeah, 3,200 is not ideal. Like, I'd rather have a bit more. Structural. I don't know, we want aerodynamics first of all. Nose cones. And yeah, now we want to strut things up. So I'm wondering if maybe we can 2518 759 3,200, which I guess we'll gain some from the from improvements like as we go up. So 3,200 might be okay, but we do want some separatrons. Actually, more than separatrons. We just want these. We want these mites just to bosh these things away when we're done with them. Okay, we also need some aerodynamics, because I imagine the aerodynamics of this thing are not looking particularly good. Well, they can always be better. I mean, the majority of our flight profile is going to be with these things attached, so I feel like if we stick the aerodynamic... we can stick some winglets down here. We can also strut things up down here as well, which would be more useful. Good old catamaran launch system. We want those. We also stick some wings on the outside of here as well. Just because we're gonna have like these attached to most of the Ascent profile, so kind of makes sense to have wings on them. Let's grab some of these bad boys. Right, so let's double check all of our staging. Oh yeah, we also want to potentially reduce the vector, the gimbal limit from, like, because these things can gimbal quite far. We don't necessarily need to gimbal that much. So hopefully that should also be gimbal limited down, that's good. So yeah, staging, so yeah, these go, all of these go. 2,400 meters per second. Then we separate these main ones, then we deploy the fairing, then we jettison this, and I feel like we should activate these engines when that happens. Then we get rid of the nose cone. Although, like, we might want to do that before we then those will separate, and then we've got parachutes to recover those if we want to, which we might do. Right, cool. So action groups. So we have a station action groups, which is good. We want default action groups to be for the drive for these things to toggle. And I think that will do for now, because yeah, haven't attached any like navigation lights or anything to it, but I guess we can. I think it'll be fine. I guess we could stick some on. At least put some navigation lights on, I think. Yeah, the very minimum. Cool. Add some to the top here as well. At least some way in a way they'll be visible. Make these yellow. Turn on blink. Cool. And we will bind them to one in the station group. And we'll remove them from the light group. I need to actually switch to default. Cool. Right, so yeah, staging wise, we've got everything there. Those go, that goes, these go. Then we switch to those, and then yeah, okay, cool. Right, so we're not going to be launching this thing with any Kerbals on board. That's the point. Actually, we do want to make sure the control point is. Yeah, we want to make sure we can set the control to here. So custom one, the default will be to control from here. Hopefully that'll do the thing. Yeah, so we're going to launch this thing without Kerbals. So let's just save. Let's leave. Let's see if we can get this thing into orbit. Yeah, we're not going to have any Kerbals on this thing when we launch it, so Spacedock. Cool. It doesn't seem to have put anyone in. I know it has. It's put Alison in. We don't want anyone in here because if this thing crashes and burns, we all just want to watch it crash and burn. It's only money after all, so there's nobody in it. We'll put people in it eventually. But for now, it's just going to be empty. This is for launching it. If it goes wrong, I don't want any Kerbals. I don't want to lose any Kerbals if it goes crashing into the sea or whatever. So let's try launching the vessel. Inflate. Okay, it thinks up is up, which is good. There's no Kerbals on board, which is good. Let's turn SAS on. Let's go to maximum thrust. Let's try and let's get a reasonable view before I launch the thing. Again, I'm going to try and be a bit less aggressive on the gravity turn, I think, but we'll see. Okay, let's just I'll do. Right, let's switch these over. And let's decouple this. Edge ourselves away. Fit in orbit now. Let's try rotating ourselves retro. Cool. Let's have some fun. Let's I want to see what happens if we fire this thing off like a missile or that thing. Oh, it just misses entirely. Oh well, right. So let's we're in orbit. We're probably not quite equatorial. 2.61. We kind of want to fix that. I suppose the question is, this thing's actually well, we can use the moon as a target because the moon is in an equatorial plane, so we can find our ascending and descending nodes here. Descending nodes, we want to go up. I'll do. Although it might be easier to do the correction burn. The inclination correction when we're actually further in a higher orbit. Yeah, that's probably right. So let's abandon that. Let's just get ourselves into a 500 kilometer orbit and then worry about inclination, because the inclination change at the moment will be a lot more expensive. So our next thing is periapsis. So let's just add maneuver here. Oh, we'll get this up to 500 or thereabouts. Okay, 17-second burn, 251 meters per second. I'm heading that in 2 minutes, so let's go and point ourselves to target and then hope this thing is actually not too wibbly, but hopefully it should be fine. It was a bit wobbly when we were taking off, when like on launch, but so managed to get it into orbit. So managed to get it into the right orbit. And we'll try land these things if we have enough delta V left, which I think we will, because again 251, it'll be about the same to circularize at 500. Then we'll fix our inclination, readjust our orbit, and then we will separate these bad boys. And then hopefully any forces on these will be cancelled out because they'll be coming at us from both directions. What's in them? Oh, thanks for the follow, user unknown. If you're watching, I hope you're enjoying. Right, so yes, we have 1 minute and 14 seconds. So there's not much point doing the automatic time warp. Let's just time warp down. 4, 3, 2. We go. And hope these vectors won't be too aggressive in their gimbaling, because the vector engines have some ridiculous gimbal ability. Cool. We don't have to worry too much about making this thing and super accurate, because we're going to be altering our inclination, which is going to change our apoapsis and periapsis a little. So we'll sort of like correct it afterwards. So let's go to apoapsis. It's probably about the same, 250 odd probably. But less than that. Okay, 5 to 499, but again, like it'll be changing a bit when we okay, let's oh yeah, let's extend our solar panels before we forget. Otherwise we might run out of juice. I mean, we've got 10,000 electric charge, so we should be fine. But all of those reaction wheels are draining the power, so we need to at least try and recoup it. Because again, we need power because we don't have any Kerbals on this thing yet. So. Oof. Getting a bit wibbly. There'll be those vector engines. I'll do for now. So now if we focus on the so the next thing we're hitting is our ascending node, which should still be about 2.6. Yep. So if we do our maneuver here now, ascending, so we want to go down. All right, let's see how well we can get this. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. 1.1415. I think that'll do. That'll be close enough to equatorial for my liking. 4-second burn in 14 minutes, and this will give us a yeah. See, our post-burn apparatus will be a bit above 500. So what we'll do is we'll reduce those, try and get them as close to 500 as possible. Then we'll separate, and we'll get the we shall get the deployment rockets hopefully back to Kerbin. We'll see if they survive re-entry. I'll be like, they might do. Especially if we're just getting them down from, I mean, we'll probably be able to get them down from low Kerbin, but they might survive. Maybe just turn the gimbaling, lock the gimbal on these, I think. Because I don't think we really need them to gimbal. Because as long as they're pointing the right way, they shouldn't impart any rotation on us if we don't gimbal. I think the gimbaling might be throwing us off. There you go, 0.1729, I think that'll do. Cool, let's should be 0.0, which is close enough for me. Let's unset the moon as our target because we're not going there. We just wanted to correct our thing. Our next thing is apoapsis, so let's add a maneuver here. It'll be a relatively fine adjustment. So we want to lower our paralysis down to 500, as close to as we can get. .005. That is a 0.1 second burn, so we will massively reduce the thrust limiters on these. Going down to as low as I'll go. Still think this is a 0.1 second burn. Oh yes, because this is still, for some reason. There you are. 9-second burn. Much better. One more control over that. I kind of assume that like in real life you can't throttle these down that far, but you know what? If the game will let me do it, I'll take it. Or how are we doing for power? We should hopefully be generating more than we're using. Yeah, cool. Right, let's timey warpy to our penultimate, hopefully penultimate orbital correction. We'll use a bit of RCS to get to fine tune this as well, I think. In fact, we could probably do this all in RCS. This is kind of the point of having the RCS thrusters. Yeah, 0.8 meters per second we can do an RCS. So we're pointing retrograde, so forwards is the direction we want to be going. I say forwards, like, yeah. We'll go down to like start burning 5 seconds. So I imagine it'll take about 10 seconds to do this, hopefully. We want to try and do the average it halfway between. Okay. Ah, okay. Doing this with RCS is, yeah, it's just gonna be using the RCS to do 500.024. I mean that'll do, as long as it's within a kilometer of 500. I'm not fussed. So periapsis. We want to add a maneuver here. We want to burn retrograde to get this down to. Again, as close to 500 as we can. That'll do. 26-second burn. So let's. This is a little bit more. What we can do is we can make these a little bit more powerful. We'll use these because they're clearly a little bit less crazy than the 7.4. Yeah, we 7-4. 3-second burn. I'll take that. And then once we've done that, we'll try the attempt separation. We'll get these rockets out of the way, and we will try land them at the we've got 20 minutes left, so we'll try and land them at towards the end of the stream, and then hopefully we'll have this nice Spacedock in orbit ready to receive. We do have one thing which we can try and rendezvous with it. She won't have time this stream, but it could be part of the Duna return as we'll rendezvous the Duna ship with this. We'll rendezvous the LKO return ship with this, and we'll transfer everything through the space station. Will be the plan. So let's time warp. Seconds to go. Let's rotate around so we can actually see what it's doing. There you are, 500.1 to 500.1018. I think that's probably close enough to a circular orbit for my liking. Yeah, eccentricity 0.00006. That is absolutely fine. So, we will attempt the separation. So we will go to, I think radial out is the direction we were wanting to point our station. So the idea was that the upper stage was like further out from Kerbin, and then the lower section is closer to Kerbin is the idea. And then in theory, yeah, actually the two at the moment these two sections are pointing pro and retrograde. So hopefully when they separate, they shall go end up on different orbits, which we will attempt now. Off they go, and here we are. So let's switch this to stations, and I'm aware that my sunlight's not quite input to the camera. So if we hit 0 now, we should hopefully have a nice deployment of our solar array. Should all go. There we go. I think it's probably time for a screeny. Cool. Right, let's. I'm not sure if we can switch to the other ones. We can do. Nice. So, what is this? Oh, it's zoomed the way out. Right. Cool. Right. Which way are you going? Let's get you retrograde. We'll try landing these things. We've got 15 minutes. That should be enough time. I guess this one. Yeah, this one went. What we'll do is we'll do a little do a little puff normal so that we definitely on a different orbital plane. Because this one went prograde, so if we're burning retro, because there are parts this higher up, this one went prograde. So this is like if we go retrograde, then we're going to go back towards the counterpart. So we just want to like blast off upwards a bit. Like so. And we swip to retro. We'll drop our Apple axis down to like 80. This gimbal's still locked. Gimbal free. Gimbal locked. Don't need to worry too much about gimbal. We'll see if we can't land these things. Okay, right. Three, two, one, 80. Right, there we go. I imagine we're probably too far away to the other ones to switch, so let's go and switch to this one, which is going to be hopefully retrograde relative to our space station, which should be there. Spacedock 1. So let's just point ourselves straight retro and buoying ourselves down. Yeah, so you see this one went retrograde because its periapsis went down. So yeah, oh yeah, this is still there. This one's got gimbal. This one's got gimbal locked. I'll do. Right, let's have a look. Periapsis in 22 minutes. Let's go to again, not a major issue. I'll do. Where is our other one? Is our other one anywhere near? Other one is past periapsis, but again we can. Might as well use the RCS for us to the RCS while we have it, because yeah, we used a lot of it, but it used a lot, so. Cool, that'll do. Let's just burn that periapsis down a bit. Hypoxis down. Hell, let's just land this one. 30 kilometers. Let's see how this thing handles. Okay, we're still going up. So, where is our periapsis going to be? Oh, it's going to be all the way over there. I'd rather land this thing in the day. Yeah, well, let's up our periapsis to 130, and then reduce ourselves down, and then we'll land this slightly higher orbit. We do kind of want to land it on the daylight side. I think it'll be more fun to watch. And off. Let's just walk to our axis. There you go, 141.29. Right, where's the other one? There we are, Spaceport 1 probe. Switch to this. I think. Is this one? Yep. Right, let's land this thing. So we're currently on the daylight side. We want to land on the daylight side. So let's whap our deorbit maneuver here. Let's reduce this down to 35. Oop. Oh. We're going to have a fair bit of delta V left in the thing, so we can use that to burn ourselves below re-entry heat if we need to. Yeah, once we hit the atmosphere, re-entry heating starts off, we'll just kick off these because these things are pretty good even in atmospheric pressure. So we should hopefully be able to like deal with re-entry heating by just decelerating ourselves. Right, let's go. 52 minutes. Cool. done. Let's just keep ourselves pointed at retrograde. Let's time warp down to atmosphere. Free. Cool. Again, look, we'll probably will lose this on the way down, but me no care. Okay, let's pull in our solar panel. Don't want to lose it, and see how this thing behaves aerodynamically. But going to fizz warp. Here comes the sun. Doo doo doo. Don't copyright strike me. Should start things re-entry-ing soon. There we go. What we can do is maybe try and aim for that landmass, maybe? Supposed to start like... So impact biome is currently grasslands. That might change when... Because that impact biome isn't taking into account our... Because we are quite aerodynamic, so we're probably going to... Our turbo velocity is probably going to be quite high if we're not careful. But we have 300 meters per second, so I guess if we... hope the drogues pop before they get too dangerous. They did not pop. Okay, a tank survived. Okay, I think we need to I feel like we need to do the same thing, but this time let's just manually pop the chutes when the time comes. That's not what I wanted, but we can recover it while we're here. And there we are, space orbital delivery. Let's just deorbit you. Yeah, let's just point you retrograde now. Let's alter these so they are then pressure 0.04. Then pressure 0.04. We'll just have these go when we say, and the same with these ones actually. 0.04. Because obviously, like, because this thing isn't like we don't have a heat shield, we don't have anything that's sort of like really slowing us down. Let's just parasite minus. So let's not worry too much about hitting land. Let's just worry about not slowing down too early. Because the problem with slowing down too early is that we came to like a stop, like thousands, 30k in the sky. I mean, this thing's definitely gonna land because our periapsis is underground. Okay, we're slowing down now. Okay, we're below terminal velocity at this point. We are, however, below. There we go, and should put some landing legs. I think it's very, very tall, so I'm just kind of hoping that the we will hopefully just ease off the throttle so that it sort of like gently drops down. Get that. I have a feeling the other one, I have a feeling we never staged the parachutes, which is why they never came out. Because I forgot that sometimes you have to stage twice to. Nope. Stop it. Nope. Just let it gradually droop to the. Okay, well, part of the rocket exploded, but like it was only a few fuel tanks. Like all of this stuff's intact, and the engine's intact, which is a valuable thing. Right, let's recover that, and let's recover the other piece as well, considering that it technically um, was separated into two pieces. So let's just quickly go to the tracking station and let's deal with that recovery and the. So there should be, if we turn debris as on, right, there's this one which we want to blow up. Spacedock orbital delivery is here. We will recover that. Get a science from it, whole science. Yeah, cool. So that's it. We have Spacedock. We will get the. What is this thing? Let's fly it and find out. And can we return it to Kerbin? I have a feeling it has very little fuel in it if it has a probe core at all. Oh yes, it's this thing. We can technically we can return this to Kerbin. What I will do is I will rename this. So we will call this launch escape system. We will land this at some later point. If we do. Oh no, we don't have any control over it. Never mind. We don't have any. There's no cables on it, so there's no crew control because they didn't put a probe core on it. So we will go back to Space Center. We will go to the tracking station, and we will blow that up because we don't need it anymore. And then I'll conclude this session because I think that's a good time to end it. We have our thing ready for when our Kerbals hopefully return from Mars, because again they're from Juno, because they haven't actually landed on Juno yet. So it is entirely there we go, right, you terminate. Yeah, so the Juno KSS Pioneer debris, which is currently here. Eliminate that, I'm sure it's just debris. But yes, we will return to the Pioneer, we will attempt the Juno landing. Hopefully we won't lose any Kerbals in the process, and then we will deal with their triumphant, hopefully triumphant return to Kerbin next session, for which I will add the transfer window from Duna to Kerbin, which is in 1 year and 23 days. So let's just add that, so we know not to shoot past it. And yeah, that will do. I will save and yes, so we have Spacedock for the KSS Pioneer to return to, and then we'll dock the LK return stage to it, so they can transfer into it from there and then go home. So yes, I will save the game here. Quick save 24, and we will quit to main menu. And we shall call it an evening for the bonus stream. Hope anyone who's been watching has found it fun or interesting to watch me put a space station in orbit. And yeah, so next stream will be on Thursday at the regular time of 6 p.m. British summer time, where we will attempt the Juno landing, the Juno science, the Juno return, and then we will try and get the Juno ship, KSS Pioneer, back to Kerbin, which should hopefully be fun. But until then, cheerio.